everyone, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another process video for you. And here I am just scrapping two 4x6 portrait photos. I selected these two bright colour cardstocks that I wanted to use up from my stash. To be pretty honest, they don't really go with the photo, but I really like the colour of it, of these papers together. I kind of had them in my stash and I was kind of flicking through. And I'm like, I really like that pink and green together. I'm going to go with it and use it on a layout. I do apologise, I seem to just stopping me texting here. But yeah, so I'm just going to use these two papers and I'm going to mat the whole layout on the bright pink. And as I've been doing a lot lately, I've just gutted that so I can mount my background, my photos on that as a background. So I'm just sticking that down because I've already kind of made that decision that that's how I want the layout to look. And I didn't really have a plan where I was going to go with this layout at all. I knew that I wanted to try and use up some of these 6x6 pads that I've had. That was a Studio Calico Here and Now. I've got a Heidi Swap paper pad here as well. So I'm just going through, just trying to use these up because I keep, I brought quite a few of them at one stage and haven't really used them that much. And so I'm just looking, kind of colour blocking some papers behind them. I'm not really putting too much thought into it at all. And this is a pretty quick layout to do. It took me just under 50 minutes. As I said, the colours don't really go with those photos, but I'm going to try and make it work. I found when going through my stash that I had some twine, and this twine was on a card, and I find that if twine is stored on a card, it's really hard to kind of do like the twisted effects and stuff I sometimes do, because it's kind of got folds and creases in it and it's really difficult to try and manoeuvre. And this is some Jelly Bean Soup twine that I've had for quite a while. So what I decided to do is where the paper is going to be exposed, I just wrapped the twine round several times. As I said, I wanted to use this twine up, but it just wouldn't curl right. As you can see there, when it's laid on the desk, it's got lots of kinks in it. So it's really not going to work. So all I do is take a little bit of washi tape and stick down the end and then wrap that twine round. And actually, it's a really cool effect. It just adds another little bit of texture to the layout, and it, I think it looks really cool. And it's using that twine up, which is a little bit poo actually. I did have some other twine, which was also on a card, which I really like, just a lovely coral colour. And the way around it I found is I had to kind of spray it with some water and then wrap it around a reel. But that was a hell of a lot of palaver, but I really like the twine colour. This, to be honest, it's not my favourite twine. It's quite thin, so I decide, it's really probably not worth going to all that hassle for. So this is a good way to use it up. So I'm just going to do that on kind of the exposed sort of large pieces. I'm using that floral piece of paper because that kind of does pick up the floral in the dress I'm wearing. And this layout is actually about the cardigan that I'm wearing in that picture. And the studs I added to the cardigan, and then there's a selection of brooches. And what I really love is that a lot of the brooches all have kind of different meanings, either from, where I got them from, or the sayings that are on them. The thistle brooch, which is kind of on the bottom of my cardigan, was a brooch that my grandma used to wear. As you know, when you're kind of flicking around, my grandma has sadly passed away, but I did get to keep all of her brooches because she used to love wearing brooches, and I really like to mix up the kind of, with my more modern brooches that I wear, some of her older pieces. And to be fair, some of them, are lovely and kind of look modern now because, the vintage kind of effect that's around. And there's also like a small sword on there, which has my family crest on it. So again, it's just kind of a little eclectic thing, and I just wanted to really make a layout about, you know, about the different brooches, and all the brooches that I'm wearing have different stories. A couple of them I brought in America, you know, and had them shipped over. One of them is from like a little independent seller here in the UK, and so there's kind of lots of little stories to them. So I just wanted to make, you know, make a layout about that. But anyway, back to this layout. I've just used the white, pink, and, well, the fuchsia and the turquoise Dylusions inks, just to create some background texture. Not 100% convinced I like it. And as you'll see, I kind of did play about where I was actually going to place it, because some of the spatters ended up looking a little bit weird. So I did turn it round. I have just pulled out my die cuts from the Heidi Swap collection, and I'm just playing about and seeing which of these kind of work on this layout, and just kind of slotting them in and seeing what goes where, and, you know, just trying to create clusters around that photo. And I'm finding that I'm using my die cuts more easily in some cases, because I did buy quite a lot of die cut packs and I've kept them all together, and I'm finding that easier at the moment. I think when... Sorry, my video just froze. When you get to kind of like the ends and there's not like so many that you can kind of use multiples of, that I probably will just stick them in with the rest of my die cuts and things. But for now, they're working with me, having them segregated in bags. As I said, we'll see how it goes. I'm not convinced that I'm being as eclectic and using up stuff and maybe neglecting some older bits and pieces, but yeah, we'll see. I've also added one of the Ormolu cards there, and I'm taking those circles of turquoise cardstock, with kind of teal turquoise cardstock, were the die cut, the sort of negative space from that circle layout that I'd done previously, and there's a video for that. And I did keep all those and put those in a bag, because I thought they'd be useful. Oh, now I've just yawned. So yeah, I thought they'd be quite useful, and I'm just, you know, adding them behind the layers. And I'm just using my wet glue to stick down a lot of those bits and pieces. Here you'll see I'm going through my actual die cut box. The one that you know and you see quite a lot in my layouts, and I'm just going through here seeing what bits and pieces that I've got I could possibly add to this layout. I do pull out that little Polaroid, and really that pink is perfect. It's a little male potty person, so that's not good, but I thought I could maybe use the kind of pink spray, but I decide that doesn't actually work in the end, so that doesn't go on the layout. I find a couple of those tags that I cut and decide that they'll probably make some good layers. Again, that starburst kind of bit is from an Ormolu cut apart piece from the Scraptastic kit. And the turquoise in that is exactly the same as the turquoise in that other little label. So I'm just sticking those tabs, those little tags, into the different places. And I really like how that's working. Again, some of these are quite tiny little bits as well. Again, Ormolu cut aparts. And I'm really happy how this layout come. As I said, I'm just still not convinced myself that it wouldn't have looked better if I'd have tried to take the colours for the layout from the photos a little bit more. But yes, anyway, I'm just taking that really old Echo Park sticker that says Sweet Memories. This is another Echo Park sticker sheet, and this came from the Alison Kreft line. the first one she done, so it's been hanging around a while, and I am just taking some bits and pieces from that to add to my layers. And I'm also going to use the alphas that are on that sheet as well. There's 2 different alphas on there. And so I'm going to look at using those for my title. And I really love this collection, and actually the colours go really well with this layout. I've just added a couple more little stickers on there as well into the different layers. Some of them are those little pie charts, which are kind of quite in again now. I'm sorry here that the kind of sheet keeps blocking the sheet of alphas kind of block the layout there. But I was kind of trying to peel them off and stick them on. Excuse me. I'm trying to work out what letters I had of what. As you can see, I have been using it more and more, and so they are a little bit depleted. And this layout is actually from photos taken, I think it was in February or March time, so I do have a few photos left that I haven't scrapped from that time. I was kind of looking through them the other day and thought, okay, I do want to scrap this picture, because I do print quite a lot of my pictures each month, but I thought I wasn't 100% sure if I did want to scrap it, but I decided when looking through them that I did. And I'm pleased that I did. So I've just put the title down, and that is a brooch story, and that's just going to be about each of the brooches. And I'm actually going to do that on the back of the layout. I'm going to do a little bit of journaling on that card, but when I came to journal on this layout, it was quite full, so I decided that it wasn't going to kind of look best if I done lots of busy journaling down in that corner. So I'm just going to write about each of the brooches on the back of the paper, because I think, to be fair, in years to come I'm not necessarily going to remember where I bought all of those brooches from. And I just think it's sort of a fun sort of topic to scrap about, really. And to be fair, this is probably something last year I'd have just put in my project life and maybe made a small 4x6 card about. But I'm liking that these kind of stories are being promoted up to 12x12 layouts. So here are some close-up pictures now, so I hope you've enjoyed this layout, and I'll be back with some more soon. Bye!